All right, we're back with a little video on hero loadouts. A few people asking me what I'm running, what's my favorite. Hard to narrow down favorite. I don't really have a favorite, but at the moment I'm really enjoying running around with a soldier build that is a bit of a collection of things off. Uh, it's built around the shockwave basically, and that's really fun. I have two soldier loadouts that I do like to run, and up until recently, soldiers were, for want of a better word, boring to me. You know, you just built them for power mainly. But these are really fun to run around with, and the one I'm running around with at the moment is a little surprising because Shock Trooper Renegade is actually available. You can pull him out of the collection book at any stage. He's an easy one to get to build off, and as you can see, his perk there is to decrease shockwave by 56%. So as we'll have a little gameplay on it, and I'll show you, it works out to be about 6 or 7 seconds in between cooldown on shockwave once you build this together. And that means you can run around, and some of you have seen other videos of me dropping the shockwave pretty regularly. It's an easy thing to do, and just clear out husk constantly. He comes with obviously a shockwave, frag grenade, and going commando, which are all fun to use. Frag grenade can be pretty handy to start up the fight. The first, obviously, happy holidays in there, so you can reduce. As you can see there, happy holidays is reduce the ability cooldowns by 40%, stacks independently, and reduction of perks. So his is already a 56% cooldown and percent cooldown on top of that when you get happy holiday, when happy holiday is going on. So the first one here is Archetype Havoc. So he's a little bit harder to come by, but you can replace him with a number of other people, which if you want to, because as you can see, his perk is using Shockwave increases movement speed by 8 seconds. So that's not a must to have in any build. You run around a bit quicker for 8 seconds. So what? You can chuck in one of the, well, there's Fuel for the Fallen if you've happened to get the Dark Jonesy there. I can't remember what his name is at the moment. But cluster bombs here is Demolition of Jonesy. Now, there's a couple of versions of Demolition of Jonesy. He's just this one here. If you want to chuck him in, his frag grenade explodes into 6 different grenades, dealing 16 energy in a half-tile radius. So that will be a good little effect for extra damage with your cluster bomb when you chuck it in there to start with. But even another one here for your bigger the better. So frag grenade by 15%, 50%, sorry, increases the radius by 50%. So Master Grenadier Ramirez, I believe you can get her out of the collection book. She's a mythic, and she's been out a few times. So if you ever come across her, make sure you get her, because the cluster bomb, you can see her as a commander perk, increases the radius by 150%. So if you wanted to build a soldier build around cluster bombs, she would be your go-to to chuck in the top there. But I had him in there because he was 130. And then obviously Love Ranger Jonesy in there. It increases shockwave radius by 37.5%. That's what I'm using at the moment. So the shockwave goes out a little bit further, and obviously we're using it more often. And then this is the one that's in the store at the moment, the pirate guy that's in the store at the moment, Seawolf Jonesy. As I was saying in a previous video or in another video, he is probably the first one I'd grab out of the store at the moment. His shockwave increases your shockwave damage by 55%, but as a commander perk, it does a double shockwave. It up to you whether you want to use it that way or not, but it works better for me this way. And the explosive entrance, shockwave drops 3 egg bombs, which obviously deal 54 base damage outside as well. You can see that in the gameplay. You'll see the little eggs dropping out to the side and exploding again. And Survivalist Jonesy. Everyone can get a Survivalist Jonesy. There's a few different versions of him. He's just birthday Survivalist Jonesy, as you can see. Birthday Jonesy. So hopefully Birthday Jonesy 3 will come out soon. But there's a number of different, I think if you go down here, There's a number of different Jonesies with Survivalist, I think. Once you get down to the bottom, assigned. I might be lying. I don't have the other one out of the collection book at the moment. But there, trust me, there is another Survivalist Jonesy, and I think most people can get him pretty easily. So what we might do is just quickly jump into a game and show you a little bit of gameplay, and if you haven't seen it already, that is. Now now that we've cleared those pesky nature ones out, we'll watch the shockwave when I drop this down. So 6-7 seconds, and we'll be up again, ready to go, and you can drop another one straight away. Boom. And you can see little eggs coming out there too. So he's a really handy player to clear out encampments, good size encampments, if you can build one very similar to this. And I understand you're not going to be able to build always, if you haven't got all the characters like a lot of the YouTubers do. They build these things and they explain to you what they're about and how good they are with this character and that character, and you're just sitting there going, well, I haven't got that one, I never was in that event, or I didn't have the gold to buy all of those things. Just the idea around is getting a couple of guys built in this one. You really only need a couple of guys for the shockwave, and then try and build around maybe powering up your grenade, or maybe even going commando longer or something like that. You can, we've got them, we'll have another look at this. You can do whatever you want with these things. This is just a build that I was using, and it was a lot of this information on these ones come from Demon Joe France. He's always a good one to, he spends a lot of time going through his all his people and putting together a great crew. And so I've been running this one for a little bit, and obviously, like I said, thanks to Demon Joe's time. But I think after looking at a few of the other perks you could put in there, I think I might put in the frag grenade build a little bit more, get the radius, or get the frag grenades breaking up. I think that might come in really handy now that I look at it. That movement speed I don't really use much at all, but you can see how damaging even to 108s that ground pound, that shockwave is. Just a pain. Whoop. These nature ones are the ones that in any ability build, nature husks are a pain. If they can get a hold of you, if they can shoot you, they just suck the energy out of you, and you have to wait for your ability damage to come back up, and in the meantime you're dancing around trying to blow them away with a deatomizer or a launcher and wasting your weapons. So when you want to fight these things, the trick is to try and keep energy ones, the nature ones, off you, and just try and group them up a little bit. We'll try and get them in a little group here and pound as many as we can. Now we've got some water ones here, which is a bit better. See what we can do. There's more nature ones coming. Gotta love the nature. So even at 108, if you can dance them around a little bit and just group them up and then just jump on them again. Just got to get over the back of those shielders. Those shielders still, if you hit them front on even with a shockwave, they still don't take as much damage, if at all take damage. Now you can see how quickly I haven't used the gun much at all in this last bit. Just keep those guys away from me and then just pound them. And it can be a little fun doing this. That's what I mean by some fun builds. Over there beating up a friend of mine. We'll let them fight for a little bit. And see, he still doesn't take that much damage. But we can keep hitting him with that, and we're not wasting any bullets. Now we want to try and just use our abilities a little bit more, save our guns, and just have a bit of fun with them. There we go. Whoop, being bullied. Stop it. And there we go. You see how that shielder there, he didn't even move because we landed in front of his shield. And that one turned around on us, so he didn't cop it. And there it is. So, bit of a fuss. 108 husks. Shockwave. If it doesn't kill them, it knocks them back. Gives you a bit of time. They take 3 or 4 seconds to get up. You've only got about 2 or 3 seconds left before your shockwave's up again. So, very handy indeed. We'll jump out. We might have a look at Another soldier build was really fun because it's kind of like the invincible build. This goes way back to when Swamp Knight first came out, and a few of the YouTubers had come out with these invincible builds, and this is built around very close to one of them. Obviously, High Tide's in there now, which again is in the store, and another reason why one of the top ones that I would get out. So Swamp Knight is also able to get at the moment if you run Crypts. I think it's Crypts in the dungeon a couple of times. You'll have the option to get Swamp Knight out of there, and I got to say he's something you definitely go for. Definitely aim for that. Trick or Treat is the team perk. You can see there reading the Unearthly Treat is what comes with Swamp Knight. And then he's got obviously Shockwave, War Cry, and Going Commando. So we don't have the Frag Grenade on him, but you don't need it. Trick or Treat is got the Life Leech, and the 50% to conjure phantasms as like obviously you had red with Swamp Knight as well. 45% chance to produce them as well. So Ghoulish Cackle, she's a bit of a hard one. I don't think you can get her out of the store. She came from an event, and I'm not sure if she's only ever came out once. She might have been twice, maybe in the Birthday Llamas. Let's keep our fingers crossed. But she increases ability damage by 37.5%. So based on percentage of missing health. There are other ones you can use to build around that, but she's the one I'm using at the moment. She helps, as you can see, to get Trick or Treat going, you need 2 Fort Nightmare heroes. So she's one, and Monster Mash is the other one. And she increases Life Leech with melee attacks and Going Constructor. Going Constructor is not an issue to me. The Life Leech is what it is, and you get Life Leech out of Swamp Knight as well. So getting that life back is imperative to the build around staying alive when you're getting smashed up. High Tide increases your Shockwave by 55% damage, which is something I put back in there. I can't remember what that used to be in there, but as you can see, he's got Shockwave, so makes sense. Energy Siphon, he comes off one of the sci-fi heroes, and you can see what here, eliminations with energy damage restore 8.5% of missing shield. So again, your shield keeps going up if you're using energy damage weapons or energy damage, and energy is your ability, I believe. Plasma Arc, energy damages has 20% chance of zap nearby enemies for 58%. So using your abilities is the energy damage side of it. And as far as I'm usually running Adrenaline Rush and Horror Turrets just about every time, just in case you need that little bit extra health kick if you're getting smashed up by, like, if you still get hit in the head with a couple of smashes, you're still going to cause a lot of problems. The idea around this is to be getting belted by the little stuff as much as possible. If you're in amongst smashes, or you're getting hit from a distance by laser shots all the time, that's going to cause you a problem. But we'll jump into a quick game and I'll show you what we mean. Alright, here we go. We'll check him out and see what he does. Just change. Now you can see the phantasms coming off, and it's the more damage you take from these guys. So if I sit in the middle of the bees, and you can see my shield going back and forth, back and forth. So I sit in the middle of the bees there and take damage, and it shoots off these little things, and they all go and attack this guy. See, I haven't hit this guy yet. There he goes, dead. I'll go and stand near this guy again. Boom, dead. You can see my health. These are 108s, so they're pretty full on. And now my shield's coming back fairly rapidly there. I haven't used anything there. Now the reason I swapped to this weapon too, it's an energy weapon, so if I'm going to be swinging that around, it helps to the energy at the bottom. So get in amongst it and swinging this one around. After eliminating 5 enemies, this weapon within 15 seconds regenerates 25% of your shield over 3 seconds. Plus it's an energy weapon, so it's adding to that wall, adding to that shield coming back. So when you get into the heavier battles and I start swinging this around, I'm even more powerful in terms of health. Now these guys I won't even touch, and you'll see it again. they take care of themselves pretty much. So my health and shield keeps going back and forwards as I get hit. These tankier ones take a bit more hitting, but he's not going to do much to me. So there, he's dead, and that one's gone as well. Wait for our shield to come up a little bit, and we'll get stuck into this, and then we might have a look at a couple of other things where, like I've explained, the whole idea of this is to be getting hit so you can cause all those phantasms to come up, but on a single target like a smasher and things like that, or laser beam that hits you a little bit more hard from a distance, those can be more bit problematic to this build. So let's get into this one, eh? So here's a laser, guys, but we'll just start swinging this round and see how we go. Let those guys hit us, and we'll hit the laser guy, and there's a bit of knockback there. Keep him stunned, so he doesn't hit me, and we'll let these other guys do their business and take care of themselves. So if you stand in the bees, you're taking damage, and it causes those phantasms to appear. So I haven't used a gun yet. And you just saw the little lightning shot caused, but I think it was the hammer. There we go. Oh no, it was one of the builders. Sorry, it was one of the loadouts. But yeah, again, not even swinging a hammer at this stage. But these guys can be a little bit of a pain in the bum if they start shooting at you from a distance, because you're not generating enough of the phantasms, and they don't go all the way over to him. If you're too far away, you can see how this becomes a problem to me, because I'm not getting hit enough, I'm not taking enough damage to cause them. And if he could shoot straight, that'd be alright. See, that stuff makes it over to him, but I'm almost dead now. If I don't take care of these guys, it can be a problem to this build. We'll hold up in 140s, 132s, it'll hold up in Storm Shield defenses, because I have used it in a Storm Shield defense in Twine before, for other people's, helping out with other people's shields, and it works just perfectly. You just get down there in amongst them all coming up your ramps and take care of them with the phantasms and your hammer. And occasionally you can rip out a deatomizer if you want, but in these sorts of things we just don't need to waste a deatomizer on it. Now these shielder guys can bully you a bit because the phantasms aren't getting through. So we can just do what we did before, jump up over the top, and if I did that properly it would look way better. But the cooldown on this one's not in effect, so it takes 25 seconds to get your shield back, to get your shockwave back. And these other things, these lobbers actually, while we're talking about it, they can be a complete and utter pain in the ass with this, because they'll just stand so far away from you and lob you, and it's just annoying. Here we go again. Now here's the bullies with the shields. Those guys you can take your atomizer back out and just jump over the top of them if you want to knock stuff around. I'm only doing this because I want to show you what's going on. I'd normally have just taken care of these guys with a deatomizer to the side or something like that. Alright, let's go see if we can find a smasher, and I'll show you the point I was trying to make about smashers in this build. You still got to take care of the smashers. You can't just sit there and expect the smasher to beat on your head and eventually get taken out by the phantasms. That's just not going to happen. Alright, we found one, eventually. Just my luck, there's only one on the whole entire map. Took me ages to find him, but here we go. See, if he's just going to beat on your head there, that's smashing me, but not really taking much out of him. So it's not the way you really want to fight. So if you're going to fight these sort of guys, you want to stay away from his smash as much as possible and let these other guys hit you if you want to fight that way. Or just shockwave him and find some other ways. Get your deatomizers out. We can with this sort of thing, you can bump him every now and then and give him a bit of a stun. But if you let these things go to town on you, they will kill you. You just... the phantasms just don't do enough damage for you to stand there and take a beating. That's all there is to it. So that's pretty much the soldier build that I like to run. One of those two of my favourites. This one, I haven't run it in a little while because I've been using the other one with the shockwave regeneration and all that sort of stuff, and he's really fun. But as you can see, you put something together like this guy and it is super fun, and it will rip you through a lot of your challenges and get you towards that end game that you really want to be. So I hope this helps you. As I said in all my videos, please drop a like, and if you know anyone else that would like to hear my stuff on my channel, please invite them along. It would really help me out. I want to be able to put more and more of this stuff out. There's a lot of guys out there that need a lot of information. They're always asking for information. I'm always happy to give it. So until next time, hopefully I'll see you in game. And remember, there's a video posted a couple of days ago on voting for the 130 giveaways, which ones we want to take up, and then get together as a group and take them out for a spin. All right, until then, have fun gaming, and I'll see you in game.